There are allegations that you cut some kind of deal on the IRA, on the big act for the Democrats, and that you were supposed to be a fair broker with Republicans and Democrats, but you know these allegations. Do you have an explanation of people saying Joe Manchin cut a deal behind our back?
Yeah. Well, Chris, let me tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. I would have not engaged any way, shape, or form unless I knew that we could have energy independence in the United States of America. That means not depending on foreign supply chains and foreign actors such as Iran or Venezuela or even the Gulf states. I would not have done that unless I knew that we could produce the energy that we needed. The oil, the gas, the coal, cleaner than anywhere in the world. So we need a robust fossil energy segment that gives us basically the horsepower to run our country. And it gives us the independence that we have to be the superpower of the world. We also can invest, and which I did in that bill, we wrote it 2 prongs. 10 years down fossil, cleaner than anywhere in the world. That's reducing and helping the climate because we're helping our allies, and 10 years of basically investment to come up with a new technology for the energy of the future. And how this bill has been misaligned is beyond me, because when it was done, that was the deal that was made, and the deal that was made was all one. That means the permitting process was all in one deal, but basically because of the only vehicle we had was reconciliation, which means only Democrats are going to vote, then that fell out. Because it didn't fit within that in that confines.
What was more than them just kicking the permitting out, though, Senator? Your party, the Democratic Party, also kept calling it a green energy provision as a way of hiding the fossil fuel part. And that's what your friends on the right are responding to.
Well, the friends on the right basically are still demeaning it from the standpoint that it's not going to do anything. This is the greatest energy bill that we have ever done in the history of the United States of America. We're guaranteed for 10 years to produce the energy that we need to be energy independent. And we're also going to do more, bringing more technology, more investment to the United States with hydrogen, with battery storage, all the different things it takes for us to move into the technology of the future. That's going to happen. Whenever it happens, I don't know, it could be 20, 30 years from now, but it's going to happen. The United States is going to be the catalyst for that to happen, but you cannot go down the path that Europe went down, Chris. And Europe went down this path, which basically leaves them void, and you see what's happening in Germany. The UK has almost scrubbed all their environmental concerns because they just have to keep their people from freezing again and keep their economy alive. It's crazy, but my Democrat friends took it and said, this is the best climate bill ever. Well, it's the best fossil bill ever, too.
Right.
Why can't you just say it's an energy security?
Because of party politics. Because of party politics, because in a reconciliation vote, which is going to be all Democrats, they would never get it done with the word fossil in it unless they said they were saving dinosaurs. And this happens with fuel and energy in your party regularly. The Biden administration has allowed more permits on existing land grants for oil production than the last administration. But then every time you talk about it, they try to kill you on the left side of your party. They're trying to have it both ways. How do you straighten them out?
Well, the fact of life is it doesn't work the way they want it to work. And the bottom line is we'd have never had a bill. I would have never even sat down and had my staff start writing this bill. We worked on it for 3 months, never told a soul, because I didn't think they would accept it, Chris. I did not think the administration and the far left would accept it. But basically, Putin weaponized energy. We saw what he did and the hardship he's bringing on people over the world, but what he's done to the poor people in Ukraine and also the hardship in Europe, we saw that being done. It was supposed to last 1 week. Well, guess what? We're going on 1 year now. It's going to go a lot longer than that.
Right.
And we have got to make sure that we do not fall into that trap. So I said, you better do something on energy. We've got a tremendous crisis coming if we have to be dependent and go lift. Think about this, Chris. I'm sitting there and I hear my country, my government wants to lift the sanctions on Iran, the most prolific terrorist supporters in the world, so they can have more revenue to create more havoc and hardship on people. Terrorism.
Death sentence for your party.
On Venezuela.
Death sentence if you do that for Iran. Right now, with them killing all these people?
Well, I'm just saying, You're right. And on Venezuela, Venezuela has hardly any restrictions on the environmental standards. And let them, and we're talking about we have to be much cleaner and much decarbonizing and do everything in a better. So I said, you know what? We're not asking anybody on the North Slope to produce more. We're not asking anybody in the Permian Basin. We're not asking our friends up in Alberta, who basically we get most of our heavy crude from, 60+%, Chris, comes from Alberta. And no one's asked any of them, our own and our best ally, to produce more. So I said, enough's enough. And I said, well, if you can write a bill, I said, I'll write a bill. You'll probably not like it. So we wrote the bill and didn't tell a soul because I didn't think they'd pass it or accept it. But things got more desperate when it came in June. And then by July, everybody says, okay, we'll do it.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.